NCRP Productions presents Unhallowed Metropolis, Secrets in the Sands, Episode 3. Welcome back to Unhallowed. This is Barry, your Game Master, and I'm going to go around the table and introduce everyone real quick.
Hey everyone, it's Pedro playing Dr. Desmond Wright.
Hey, this is Sequoia, and I'm playing Frankie the Undertaker.
I'm Michael. I'm playing Dr. Everett Wolf.
Hey, I'm Ty. I'm running Ray Callahan, our resident Pugilist.
Hi, this is Matt, and I'm running Ayden Carter, the Antiquarian.
And this is Jill, and I am running Raya Patel, the Mourner.
So, last week when we left off, you guys were in the bazaar. You were at a bossy stand trying to get the canvas masks to replace yours because the rubber, you're all concerned, is going to start sweating on you or possibly even deteriorate. Then, while you were there, Dr. Wright had been approached by a bossy. His nephew Mozzie was brought out before you, and you got to see that his arm had been cut off and really horribly taken care of, closed off with cauterization. While you were looking at him, two young children came running by you. Ray went for a grab and missed, but Ayden was able to grab both of them, and quickly and I'll let you guys know, I looked it up, the police are ENP, which is Egyptian National Police. So two of the ENP showed up and were started talking, and they're speaking in Egyptian, so other than Ray and Ayden, the rest of you didn't know what was going on, but for you two, you knew that these children had stolen something. Ayden had tried to step in and potentially make it that it was his niece and nephew who had made a mistake. And when Ayden went to speak to the two police, one of them obviously giving the opening to accept some form of a bribe, and he had passed the children off to Ray. Ray had been able to grab the girl, but the boy had squirreled out of the hands and had run away, and one of the two, the one that wasn't specifically asking for the bribe, had hurled a scimitar through his back, sticking him to the ground. And that's where we've left off. We are going to start in just a moment with Frankie and Dr. Wolf making stress rolls. So the storyline goes like this. They are both infected with the throat serum in some form. Frankie from an earlier bite, and Wolf by his own machinations. And the stress roll is straightforward. If they fail, they will thrope out. And the thropes are basically this world's kind of version of a werewolf. But before we go farther, a couple of interesting things from last week that I had missed when we were talking about the two levels of the people in Egypt. What we were talking about was the Ba and the Ka, which I thought it might be that, but I didn't have the absolute knowledge of it. Well, now I've got it. And for you, storyline-wise, I'd be totally fine with you accepting this, Ayden, and that is that the Ka still remains with the animates, but the Ba, which is the personality, leaves them when we were talking about immortality. Right. The other thing is, I came through, and there's no perfect translation, but I came through two ideas for names for the Egyptian zombies, so I'll put it to the group. One is Shedim, and the other one is Tawati. Neither directly means zombie, but both of them fit, at least as far as the story, so show of hands for Shedim. We don't need to vote for the other one. Did you like Tawati better?
Yeah, it rolled off the tongue a little bit better, but at this point it doesn't really matter.
All right. So the other term is there, and Ray, it would be kind of fun if your character, if you chose to use Tawati instead of Shedim. But for the rest of you and for the game and for the characters I'm going to be bringing up, Shedim is going to be the name for the Egyptian zombies.
At this point, I've heard like 6 or 7 different names for these darn things.
I'm sure. Tawati is one of a number of terms that match that ability. Doati is another one as well. So with that in, we're going to start. Will the two of you please make me stress rolls? And because of the situation and where it was, we've got loud noise, we've got everything going on, I'm going to give each of you a -1 to your actual roll. So it's going to be a slight bit easier.
All right.
Wolf is fine.
And I believe the roll is a 12.
Oh, +7. So yeah, no, then you got an 18.
So the two of you guys are able to maintain. Now that does not mean that you can't choose to get involved, but you don't lose control
Frankie
of yourself.
Is absolutely getting involved.
Yeah, the wow
So
sound.
he kind of like, his blood rushes to his head and he can't see straight, and he's running for this guy who just threw the sword.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So give me just a moment before we start in with that. The character pool has 4 left in it. Then moving forward, we will start with Ayden. So you were there. You were moving towards doing something with the one. Ray is holding the female at this point. The other one, and it's motion. All of you see it. There's no callousness. There's no glee. He literally steps forward, hurls his blade, goes right through the child's back, sticks him not only through and to the ground. Blood pouring out from there. So before we step forward, Ayden, what are you doing? You've got the one that's standing there with effectively with his hand ready to come out.
So do I see Frankie?
Everybody of this group, and you would expect it. This is very common to you. It doesn't mean that you enjoy it, like it, approve, but you are a stranger in a strange land, even though you've been here your whole life,
right.
And this is absolutely normal. Life has less value, well, not a whole lot less value than the downtrodden spaces of the metropolis, but that wouldn't be something your character would know. But life has little value here. In a lot of cases, children are a nuisance, and when parents die and children are left, there is no ward of the state. There is no Red Cross or anything like that.
There's no orphanage or anything.
No orphanage.
I'm pretty
Often-
knowledgeable about that,
Right.
since that's what happened to me.
Right, and often one more important thing is, in the case that the parents die, that their guardian passes away, the children do turn to crime, and a lot of them tend towards greater and greater crimes to keep themselves alive. So you understand why it's there, but you could also acceptably say that it's a blight on society that you don't approve of. Again, I'm not saying that you have to choose which way, but it is common. So what do you do with the two of them effectively, but the one is stepped slightly past you to hurl his scimitar.
I am going to...
You do still have the female currently held by Ray alive.
Okay, so...
You guys are pretty certain the boy is dead.
Okay, I'm going to look at the young girl. Is she still struggling?
Oh my God! No, she has wilted in Ray's hands. If he does not release her down a little ways, she is hanging from his hand. Otherwise, she's down on her knees. She's disheveled and crying.
All right.
Not wailing, but crying.
I'm going to look at Ray and say, Ray, Frankie. Since I see Frankie charging.
And do you say that in Egyptian or do you say that in English?
English.
In English. Okay. So all of the rest of you will hear this.
And I'll say, I apologize for this situation, and I'll pull out the local currency.
Gotcha. So with that, everybody go ahead and give me an initiative roll.
Remind me how initiative works again.
So for the initiative roll, you're going to take two 10-sided dice, roll those, add them together, and you are going to add to it your prowess.
Okay.
Your prowess.
Gotcha. Cool.
19.
Okay. Wright with 19.
22.
Frankie with 22, of course.
Wolf with 16.
Wolf 16.
Ray with 14.
Yeah, the bad luck. I was thinking that. Well, I was thinking that the bad luck from last week got even worse.
And you're like, okay, Frankie's already gone.
Very good. Ayden with 22 and Raya.
20.
Remember, still a little tipsy at the moment.
And the ENP have 12. I'll let you guys know that they are not going early. For the other people that are with you, in just quick glance, Maying does not look shocked. She just looks set. Billings looks aghast, but isn't moving. Cal and Marud are literally standing there looking passive. Both, any of the fighters in the group, you're going to know that both of them are ready to react, but have not even moved to put their hands there, but you can see that tenseness. So for base speed on Frankie and on Ayden, who has the higher coordination?
I have a 3.
I have 3 too.
All right, we move then to vitality.
4.
I only have 2.
Very good. So Frankie will move first.
Yeah, I'm trying to throttle that guy.
So you're gonna lunge at him and grab him?
I want to grab him around the neck specifically.
Are you going to choke him or hold him?
I'm trying to choke him.
Very good. So that is going to be
Straightforward.
that is going to be an unarmed attack. we are going to make that attack. So we're not grappling is why I was asking.
Yeah.
So we are making that attack towards the head. So you're going to roll, again, it's been a while, so I'll remind you guys. We're going to make that attack with a base of 11 plus the target's coordination. So in this case, you're rolling for a 15. You're going to be grabbing him, utilizing your combat skill. I'm guessing it's some form of unarmed.
Yeah.
All right. And then you're going for the throat, which I'm trying to find that because the head does have a cost. My memory is +5.
The location modifier for head or vital is -3 plus 5 damage.
Thank you, -3.
So I rolled a 16.
So 16. Your actual roll was a 16. Yes.
And just to let you know, so I'm just looking over the skills. Frankie has brutality. Armor is not doubled against the character's unarmed combat attack.
Gotcha. So if you rolled a 16, the actual total was a 13. His actual total would have been a 15. So that would not succeed. Now that does not mean that you didn't get him. So I envision you jump forward. He sees you. You grab at the throat, but he very quickly, and you may be a little impressed, very quickly puts his hands up between you, pulls them apart, pulls your hands down, and says something in Egyptian to you. He has a hold of your hands. He does not have you grappled.
Okay.
Okay? 8.
So, placing money into the gentleman's hand.
Yep.
Probably going to put a reasonable amount, so whatever that is.
So do you have your money on your character written down in pounds, because that's the easiest way?
Yes, I do have.
So how many pounds do you put there?
I'll put down 2 pounds.
2 pounds. And so he and he's good at this. It disappears, and he says something, and the other one reacts. Now, for the rest of you guys, you have seen that, but our next person is going to be Raya.
I am actually going over to the body of the child.
Okay.
Because if it animates, an animate in the city is just going to make more animates.
Right.
So,
Now, are you Shadim, as we've decided? If a Shadim passes on. So my question at this point, you're standing over him. You know your ability. I think you even have the ability to quick draw the Esculpus.
I do.
Are you drawing them in this situation?
Not yet.
Very good. All right. Moving down from there, we're going to go with Dr. Wright, who was just looking at the child who's disappeared and turned around and...
Now there's a dead child.
I mean, yeah, if I look and I see Frankie, wrestling with that dude. Frankie, my boy, knock that off! You're going to get yourself killed! I'll say that in English.
Yes, of course.
I have. I could say it in Latin, but it wouldn't be very helpful.
I'd be scary.
Hey, everyone else is using cool language. You're not doing mine.
Did you speak Latin, Frankie?
I speak German for some reason.
Okay, I'm gonna have to speak. I don't speak German, but I'll make
Sure.
No, but yeah, I'm
makes
gonna
sense
just
some
gonna
way.
shout down.
Oh, you will stop this! Dr. Wolf.
Wolf does a somewhat different reaction. Well, Frankie lets the blood rush, but manages to keep control. Wolf's trying to calm himself down. Luckily, the drugs are keeping him a good effect, but even then, he has to lean back against the stall for a moment, look away, close, breathe for a moment before steadying his nerves and being able to look back into what the situation is. He's not going to step in or get
Give me a
himself
concentration roll.
Concentration? Okay. You know what? Just because it's my own personal re-roll here, I just don't like that roll. I'm just going to use one. That's better. 22.
22. So when you open your eyes again, you are in absolute control at this point. Moving down from Wolf, we're left with Ray.
All right.
So you have the girl. She has gone limp in your hand. Well, her body has limped under you. Depending on how high your hand is holding it, she is either hanging from it or her hand is limply in yours as she's fallen to the ground.
Well,
And she's crying.
at this point, I could care less about the girl, and I'm
Right.
more I'm worried about the fact that Frankie is currently trying to fight the military power in this place.
Right.
So
You know this is a big no.
Headbutt Frankie.
Oh, I'm gonna
Do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how player versus player stuff works. So I'm gonna try to
You have to say it
grab
2 more
Frankie.
times.
So,
Wrestle more.
would you like to grapple, meaning try and restrain Frankie?
Yes.
Okay, so Frankie, I need to know your coordination.
Okay, it's 3.
So your roll is going to be a 14. You are going for a grapple, and so as such, successful grapple means the enemy cannot dodge, parry, or evade. The base grapple is 11. If you're going to hit a grappled character, no, we don't need to worry about that. So it's going to be a 14 to grapple.
Oh my god, I hate this. I hate everything.
Time to change out the dice.
You have to replace this die. This die has rolled 4 times in a row. This die needs to go. You need a different D10.
Yeah, I think I'm bringing the
encourage
bad
you
luck
to
from
use
last
it.
week even. So yeah, trade dice with somebody else to do better with. All right, so what was the actual roll though?
That is it's a 12.
12. So it's not extreme. You go to get a hold of Frankie, but Frankie is not going to be held. Shakes you off. At this point, the one that said something, the one that is holding Frankie's hands, and again, not in any kind of vice grip or anything, is just taking him from your throat. He stands stiffly up, not weirdly automaton. Just you're pretty sure he kind of wanted to go for it, and he releases your hands and is now walking past you towards the child.
That was his first mistake.
Yeah.
So the other characters, Marud and Cal, are not currently doing anything other than walking towards the child, but they do not appear to any of you look to be getting in the ENP's path. Mm-hmm. And we are back to the top. Frankie.
He's gonna go back again.
Oh God! All right.
Yeah, he's not stopping.
Kill
He's
him.
gonna try to.
Strike him down.
Are you gonna grapple him?
Yeah, I want to try to grapple him.
All right. So this time, because you are behind him and he is not looking, it's going to simply be the 11.
Okay.
He is done. He doesn't seem to be aware of you at all. So it is
Okay.
strictly an 11 to grapple.
And then you
Alright.
got some options.
Yeah.
Now, grapple, you're talking about restraining, not choking or anything at this point.
What I'm looking to do is jump on his back and make him fall, and then
Knock him to the
I
ground.
have clapped the braces, which means that I can.
So if Frankie succeeds, you can automatically knock him down, pin his arms, or put him in handcuffs as part of the same action.
What would you like to do?
I want to sit on his back with my knees on his arms.
So pin his arms is what
Yes,
we're going to do.
that's what I'd like to do.
Give me a roll.
Okay. And this is
Unarmed combat,
okay.
I believe.
Yep.
All right. 21.
All right. So yeah, it's easy. He's not aware of you. You can quickly overpower him, knock him to the ground, which he knocks the wind out of him as he breathes out. You have him pinned. So the one with you looks over and yells something. What he yells is, "This is unacceptable. Get off." Yeah, he would just use the man's name. He would tell him to get off him. Your turn.
So in my English, I'll say, Frankie, please get off the gentleman before things get worse.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like he heard you.
Okay.
Just
So, moving down from there, Raya,
Is the child
The
starting
child.
to animate?
give me a medicine roll.
Okay.
I think that's what you. How do you use normally to identify animation?
It's not parapsychology.
Thanatology.
Yeah,
Give me a thanatology roll, but also give me a medicine roll.
Okay. Thanatology is a 12,
Okay.
and I do not actually have medicine.
So
it's
just two
gonna
dice
be
and give me the
a
total.
straight roll,
Yep.
and that would be a 7.
Okay. So as you are set over him, you move in your standard position to watch, which is basically you by the head. You have not touched the body. You're just
No,
in reaction.
no,
So
absolutely not.
you're at this point. You're literally watching him bleed out. The blood goes along the tiles. That's it. Moving down from Raya. Right. You've just seen Frankie leap and take down this man. I hopefully I didn't describe them in some way as being monstrously huge. They're probably both 5'8", and though they're fit, they're not gods.
So Frankie's 5'4", but
so he's still shorter. So
he's
there is
built
jumping
like
on his back. But,
yeah, and he's built like a brick shithouse.
Right.
But he's not a tall man.
So he is actually still shorter. So they're kind of Goliath-like around you. But for everyone else, these are not particularly tall men.
He's Italian, small but scrappy.
Yeah, I mean, the doctor knows Frankie.
Yes.
And I'm more concerned right now of him throwing out, but I know I can't do anything to stop him.
The doctor does know that Frankie has been infected.
I feel like we've seen it.
He was the one who introduced
in
me.
the tavern.
All right, so the three of you are the only ones that know that Frankie is...
No.
I
Right.
know
And
that.
Ryan
Frankie's
does as well.
transformed in front of us.
Yeah, I transformed
All right.
in front of
So-
the only two that don't know that Wolf and
Are
Frankie
Ayden
are
and
threats
Ray.
are Ayden
Right.
and Ray.
Returning season 1 characters know. Got it.
Yeah.
Very good. Dr. Wright. And by the way,
Yeah.
Dr. Wright, I forgot to ask, were you carrying your cane? Did you come
Yes,
with your
yeah,
cane?
I have my
And it
cane.
is the full cane with the sword.
No, it's a stun cane.
It's the stun cane
Yeah.
now. Okay.
I don't
Very
think... Did I have a
good. I thought
stun
you
cane?
started with a sword cane.
No.
No,
It's
it
always
was-
been a
it
stun.
was always a
See, this is
stun
what
cane.
2 years does to you, and a whole
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
drinking.
Whip of
So
electricity.
the stun cane.
I'm gonna step forward
Yes.
because at this point, if Frankie does this, it's gonna be bad for him. But the doctor's gonna try and help as best he can. Frankie, you need to get off that man right now. He's not worth it.
Yeah, no, he's not stopping.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
He's
And there's nothing. I know there's nothing I can do. Ray, get in there and get him off.
All right.
Working
Dr.
on
Wolf.
it.
Dr. Wolf.
Oh, I'm going before Ray. Okay. Yeah, I'm calm, in control of myself
You
at
are
this moment.
absolutely, and you notice that most of the people, though, of your group, though horrified, are not doing anything. In fact, Frankie is literally the only one who is directly connected in there. So yeah, when you open your eyes, you see Frankie on top of one of the ENP. Again, Marud and Cal have moved towards the child. Raya is already standing at the head of the child, but nobody is in the way. Nobody's walking. And quickly you'll notice that there are others from different places in the bazaar. There are other just onlookers watching.
I'm examining Frankie to make sure Frankie's not going to throw out.
You do not see any. You do not see any of the immediate thoughts. Frankie looks angry, not stressed.
Exactly. And
Very angry.
That's the thing. It's like, and it's also what I was thinking, that while Frankie may not be going to throw out, those urges are definitely, as far as I can see, taking hold.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't have any throat tranquilizer, and that'd be rather inconspicuous or anything like that. But I'm trying to think of how to calm Frankie down.
Regular tranquilizers?
I don't have any of those on me right now.
It doesn't have to be special right now.
No.
Hashish.
Hurry,
Frankie's
hurry,
quick.
eat this brownie.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a big inhale in and come and just stick
He's
my
actually
mouth
going to
on it.
approach Frankie,
Uh-huh.
and he's going to put a hand on Frankie, regardless if Frankie can shove it off or anything like that. But he's going to say very calmly, "You warned me about drawing attention to myself. Now it's my turn to warn you."
That's pretty good logic.
Yeah.
I would like a character point to be added to the pool.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, at this, Frankie is gonna stop beating on this guy's head, and he's gonna stand up and basically kind of stagger really far away and lean on a wall.
Okay, holding yourself up as the
Yeah,
as the
and
adrenaline
he's like,
subsides.
his chest is heaving. He's
Yeah.
still, adrenaline's rushing, but
Wolf's not going to get into space, but Wolf's going
Yeah.
to be nearby
Gotcha.
Frankie just for.
he can appreciate the logic.
Yep. And Ray, you've got an ENP on the ground who's been knocked over by somebody who was walking with you. What do you do?
Ah,
It's
shite.
like, I leave.
I'm gonna walk over to the guy.
Well, you're already there because remember you grabbed it,
I'm
Frankie.
gonna offer him my hand.
Okay.
That's it.
What is your charm?
2.
2. All right. Well, he definitely looks angry, but he will put his hand up and give me a vitality roll for pulling him up. I'm assuming you pull him up, not just put your limp hand out there.
Yes.
Drop it back to the
Pull
ground.
him out and drop him.
Oh, psych!
15.
15. So you bring him up. He nods. He nods at you.
And I will
Says,
also,
"Oh, actually, you speak it." So he says, "Thank you."
and I will also offer him a euro, whatever the heck we're using. It's,
You're just kicking over a pound as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
For your
well,
trouble.
in this, do you say anything or just palm it out?
Sorry for my friend over there. He's new in town. He doesn't know
That's
who's in
perfect.
charge.
My question is with you. Are you like, here's a crisp new,
I think.
or do you palm it like you would?
I would palm it basically
Very good.
when I bring my hand over to like kind of clasp his other hand off.
And so he will nod his head. The bill disappears as expertly as the first one. And Raya, you will see him now coming to you. Does anyone else need to be in rounds for the moment? Okay. So he will see him come over to you, and he goes to pick up his sword. He looks to you. He says something. It sounds polite, and then gestures his left hand as he's got his hand on his sword. Gestures his left hand to you. It looks like a backing up motion. He looks like he's pushing you away without touching you.
Okay, I look to you to see what
He's
he said.
asking you to step back.
I'll take a step back.
Okay, so he puts his left foot on the joint between the left shoulder, the joint between the left arm and the neck. He will pull the blade out, and he very quickly, cleanly takes the child's head off, just chunk.
Okay.
And then a little more blood comes out. Very few of the crowd, other than potentially you guys, make any reactive noise. However, the din, the talking and that silences for just a moment. He gets up, he walks past you, Ayden, walks back to with the other one, puts the scimitar into his sash, and the two of them, oh, excuse me, walks back, puts the scimitar away. I forgot, there's another child. So you release the child, right?
True.
So the two of them look around. None of you see the child. None of you saw where the child went. As the game master, I forgot about the child, so she's gone. The one who just came back from taking the boy's head off starts walking. The other one looks to you and he says, in the future, keep your nephew and niece in control. And he doesn't say anything more and just turns around and walks away.
You all right?
So
You don't have to worry about one of them anymore.
I'm gonna go over to Frankie because I'm concerned, and I'm gonna go over. Frankie, my boy, and I'm gonna put my hand up to your head. You've seen me do this before. I'm basically searching to see if you're like wolfing out.
are you counting the lumps on his head?
No, I'm like, wait, I don't have my valise. I go like instinctively for my valise, and I'm like, crap. And I'm just like looking in your eye. I'm just like lifting your eyelid. Frankie, are you all right, my boy?
He's still.
Are you staying you? And I'll say that.
kinda
I'll whisper that,
He'll swat off your hand.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, I'll say.
Say, okay, you're fine then.
So, I don't know if they have name tags or anything.
The ENP,
Yeah.
there's just numbers, and if you want to, you can have taken the two numbers.
Okay, so I'm gonna record the numbers. I'm gonna ask them where they got the item from.
Oh, you're gonna catch up to them? They're already walking.
Well,
off.
that I wanted to
All right,
do that before
very
they
good.
walked off.
The one that you passed the money to, not the one that Ray did, will tell you. Well, you had said that you had sent them to the shop. You should know which shop. Yes.
I did not send them to that shop.
Very good, and he'll tell you which shop.
All right, and might I look at the item?
The two of them look at each other. Go ahead and give me a charm roll.
Oh, that's gonna be funny. Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
The one that you're speaking with say we must get it returned. As
I would
is our
love
job.
to return it for you if you don't mind.
I'm sorry, that is not within our powers.
So-
you may accompany us.
Certainly, I'm gonna. Ray, can you keep an eye on things here?
I can, yeah.
And
I'll
you'll
go
walk
with him.
away with them. So for the rest of you, if nobody goes with him, for the rest of you, as soon as you kind of start to get control of yourselves again, Abasi is right there, just standing. Doesn't look like anything's happened. And for Dr. Wright, when you turn around, he says, "So you were going with the leopard print, my friend?"
Yeah. Was that the one with the emo? I forget the
No, Imhotep.
Yeah.
No, he has the leopard print out.
No.
You're
no.
like, I want the
Yes.
Imhotep.
I will take that one, please. That one, please.
Ah, good choice, good choice. Medicine. You, sir, must be a surgeon.
Yes, I am. As I've said, now we'll have to discuss about your nephew. I believe it was.
Yeah. Where is he? He claps his hands again. Muzzy! And the child comes back out. As he comes out from behind the curtain, you can see him look around, and then he again, somewhat ashamedly, but quicker than last time, comes to you, and he says, "Please work on him. And for the rest of you, may I go through masks for each of you?" And
Yes,
is there?
please.
Does anyone, if you want something specific other than just like a standard canvas, go ahead and write it down. For each of you, it's the equivalent of 1 pound.
Okay.
They are
mine.
not yet. For the rest of you, it's 1 pound, and what you guys are going to notice, it is a very heavy canvas, not like thousands of pounds,
Right.
but it's a heavy, thick. I would imagine Raya would mess with it more than anyone else. But as you pull on it, the weave seems so tight, you're thinking that you would have to cut in saw form to get through it. It probably would not stop a blade, but it would stop potentially something try to smack through it. Like you're not going to hold it and cut through it with a board.
Okay.
So is everyone getting one?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, tink,
I've-
tink, mine works.
Right. And Marud is the only one of the others who does not get one.
I'll be looking for black or some kind of dark color.
Perfect.
Wolf's
Again, if it's
actually-
something extreme is what I'm wondering.
Wolf is actually kind of looking at the more painted designs and
Sure.
stuff like that, but he's thinking he's got his hand up in front of his face as he's tapping his fingers.
All 6 of them?
Yep. Well, I mean, can't really.
He's got 12.
All 12 of my fingers. but tapping his fingers, and he sort of looks and he realizes Ayden is not there, and he's just like, tell me more about the as he's talking to Azadi, tell me more about the ones that look more like animals. What are
Very good. Discerning eye, yes. So up here,
Does this guy know English?
Abasi's been speaking to you in English.
Oh, okay.
And it says, "So I can show you. So many gods from Egypt. We have Bast, which looks like the bottom of a cat. We have Anubis, which has somewhat of a kind of a dog's snout to it. We have my personal favorite, Sobek, which looks like the bottom jaw to a gator. And then there are a couple more. He has a hawk. He has another stylized, looks like maybe possibly the lower beaks of an eagle. There is a pig. You're not sure on that one if it's a pig or something else.
Now this is me out of character. Does he have one of thought? The Ilbis.
The ibis, absolutely.
Is he giving at least a little bit of what this god represents on each?
If you want it, yes, he will.
Well,
I was going to say, when you said the cat, the bottom of the cat, I was thinking it's like a tail, and then just the asshole.
That one doesn't sell.
The big cat ass one where you breathe through the cannibal.
Yeah.
but as he goes on, the fact that Thoth is like, god of knowledge, god of wisdom, and stuff like that,
Absolutely.
and magic and alchemy and stuff like that. Wolf goes, that one.
Good choice. As I had figured, discerning thought. So he lays it out for you, and again, you pick it up. It's got a nice heft to it. Again, still one pound.
Okay.
So you guys are going to be doing this for a bit, and you're looking at the child's arm. Right? Are you thinking of actually doing something here to it?
Oh, I can't. I don't have my beliefs. I don't
Right,
have it. So
okay.
I'll tell him. Well, the unfortunate thing for the lad is that whoever did this last surgery, well, there's going to be problems in the future. I could help him out. I would need to go and get my supplies and come back at a later time. There will be care afterwards. Would you be able to, provide the care afterwards? Changing of dressing.
His mother would.
Excellent. So I could come back perhaps later this evening and perform a minor surgery. Do you have a table or a place that we'd be able to work? I would be able to do my work on.
He's thinking. He says, "My sister's house. I think that would work."
Perfect. Tell me where I shall come to this evening.
So as he gives you the address, Ray, go ahead and give me an intelligence roll.
Uh-oh. 10.
Did you change that die out?
No.
Not. It's rolling high now.
All right.
So
So
the ones out.
with a 10, you think it's in the tenements, which wouldn't be a huge surprise for the people who are working here, but you're reasonably certain you could find it. He hasn't asked you to take him, but you're reasonably certain you could find it. So, Ayden, while they're taking the time there, you follow them up. So you head through the bazaar, and you actually head out of the bazaar just at the edge. It's the outer edge of a warehouse, but it has a very ornate door. They open the door and walk in. There are only 2 other people in here, both behind counters. You can see potentially how the children would have succeeded at grabbing something. There's a lot of nicer statuary. There are nice cases in here. There are a couple of not beautifully living, but living plants. So they could have hidden and grabbed. The 2 ENP bring it up to the older of the 2 men that are there, set it down, and there's a discussion, asking what happened to them. Will they be serving time? Did you remove their hands? And he explains that one of them was dealt with ultimately, and you can see that the older man is not, is like gleeful. Woohoo! That's great. Killed these children. He seems to not take it well, and he says, and the other one. And this is the one that you were speaking with, pipes in and says, well, it's this gentleman's niece. Apparently had dropped in with a bad crowd, and he wanted to speak with you. And the man looks annoyed, but turns to you, he says, I'm Amir. And your niece, you say? Your niece stole these. I'm hoping it was not under your command.
So, So can I look at them?
Yes, of
So
course.
I'm going to look at them. Are they real or are they fake? I have appraise.
Yep, give me the appraise.
Damn it.
By the way, when you were feeling the hand that had them, you're pretty sure they're gold.
Okay. So that'd be a 16 total.
So with a 16, your quick eye, you would definitely be able to make money from them. You are confident, without having touched them beyond holding in the child's hands, you're confident they are gold.
All right.
You're not certain of their age. Looking at them quickly, it's possible they were definitely built in the, big air quotes here, the old ways. But there's just something nagging that suggests that maybe they are not antiquities, but they are nice collectible pieces, probably made off of some form of antiquity.
Okay. So they're replicas essentially.
Probably.
Okay.
You're not. You would have to actually pick them up, but I'm going to say you're about 70% certain that they are replicas, but good forgeries.
So I'll ask. Do you mind if I look at them?
He looks at you and he says, "Well, yes, please."
And so I'll look at them.
And give me real quick. Give me a wits roll.
Wits roll. Okay. Can I spend? Does anyone mind?
No.
Okay. So that would be 14.
So with a 14 and taking the time with them, one is definitely a forgery, but very good. The other one, you're not certain.
All right. So
you're closer to 50-50 now.
Okay. Have the police left?
They're standing right there.
So I'm going to go over to the one that looks like the boss.
Mm-hmm. The one you were talking with.
Right. And I'm going to pull him over.
You're still holding them?
No, I'll
okay.
hand them back. So I'll walk over and I'll say, this gentleman is selling fakes. And if I could get you and your friend to take these 2 in, so they may be dealt with, I could possibly work you in for a very nice deal.
So you can see he's working over, and he effectively says to the antiquities dealer, he says, we shan't need to bother you unless we have more questions. And he says, follow me.
All right.
And you guys step out.
Right.
So in the street, which is louder, but you're standing there. The other one basically walks away and he says, I'm not certain what you're thinking. As you well know, the dealers here are not selling for antiquity; they're selling for value. What's your thought, though? Are we talking about going to the Egyptian Museum?
I am thinking that would possibly be one of the places I could go to, but I could get far more money than these two gentlemen will get selling them.
Then I would suggest, my friend, make him an offer. I don't believe that bringing the National Police into this is something that would benefit anyone.
Oh, I was not going to bring the police, just you, my friend.
I get your thought, and we're at a greater value or something of how shall I put it, national security, maybe. But this is such a small thing. But if you do believe that there's a value to it, this man is not known as an antiquities dealer. He's a replicas dealer.
All right. So I will tell him thank you.
A good day to you. And he heads up.
Okay. Are there any younger people here?
Oh, dear God. Yeah, there's
Hey, you're
always
gonna be
kids,
my new
there's
nephew.
always kids moving around.
All right. So
You barely have to move a hand, and a child will be at your side.
So I'm going to call them all over.
Oh, dear God. How many?
I was hoping more for young adults because I was going to do something different.
All
but
right.
if they're young kids, I have another idea.
There's young kids. I'm going to let you know that there are 11 that come to you.
Oh wow.
So I'm going to kind of look at them.
Army.
I'm going to make sure they're all like pretty, like they can run well, stuff like that.
Like checking out their legs. Like,
Well, no, I'm just like,
Looking at their teeth.
I'm basically making sure they're okay.
One jump.
And I'm going,
yeah. But nobody seems to be sickly or anything. There's no little Timmy on a crutch.
right. They look kind of hungry, so they're
Oh,
like,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to tell them that any of them who want to, run through there and grab anything and bring it to this place, I will reward them handsomely.
And they're all looking at each other, and you don't get the feeling that they're all working together or anything like that. But one of the older children, maybe 8, says, "Emirs?"
Yes.
So you can definitely see a fright amongst them.
Okay.
All right? And a few of them literally just turn and walk away without
Okay.
saying another thing. You're left with about 5 of them. And the first one who spoke, he says, Nasi, she just went there. Her and Hobby. And Hobby is dead because of this.
All right. Good to know. Is Amir a mean man? Does he offer you, does he yell at you, shout at you, or is he...
No, we stay clear. We stay clear.
Because he's a mean man.
He is a rich man. He is a man of means.
Does he take care of those who are less fortunate than he?
He looks like the question doesn't make sense to him, and he says, "No."
Okay. Well, then you 5 go off. I don't want you doing anything.
And they smile. You can see all hands come up.
I'll give them like a coin each.
A coin. Now,
Yeah,
now we're
like
talking
Silvers.
Yeah, no, my brain's not working.
Not
Is it
the-
shilling?
Pence is the small
It's
one.
pence.
Pence.
You hand them each, and they all shatter as they walk away with
Right.
their 1 pence each.
So, is the market? Do I know if the market's protected by anyone or controlled
Other
by
than
anybody?
ENP, not specifically. You're not aware of like a warlord or
or a
overseer
criminal
or anything like
element or anything like that?
that. No.
All right.
No, and they're not. Again, this guy's in the back of a warehouse, so it's even more. It's even slightly more different. But the ENP is really what watches. And we haven't really brought this up for the rest of the group, but you know that the ENP, in addition, represents more like the penal squads than the Death Watch back in
Okay.
London.
And then my other question would be, let's say someone were to get killed. Would it be investigated or just be one of those, something happened and...
Do you have law?
I do not have law.
Do you have, let's see what else might be in there. That might be the only one. Basic skills.
Like a knowledge local. Or
What are your criminal skills?
Streetwise,
Shadowing and streetwise. Give me a streetwise roll.
Okay.
Streetwise roll. Wow.
so 8.
So with an 8, you don't think. I mean, people die all the time.
Right.
This is people die for many reasons. In most cases, it's lack of sustenance or lack of covering at night. People die all the time. You definitely know investigations happen. I mean, you've seen.
But it's more
papers.
something more for the wealthy than.
Oh yeah,
right.
it's so. In my head, although I know it's not there, I would imagine there's penny dreadfuls about Egypt and London, and there's penny dreadfuls about London in Egypt. But it's not. Sadly, it's not the case. No, your character actually wouldn't know the history for this. So no, you. The last thing that you know of that was a citywide kind of search and people were involved and asked questions, etc., is the citadel was broken into, where the Caliph lives, was actually broken into, not sightseed, not come up to receive alms for the poor, but actually broken into. One of the family, extended family, not a prince or anyone of name, but one of the family was killed there on site, and you know that it was kind of kept hidden, that actually the one who was killed animated to Shadim and had moved into the harem and had taken out more than half of the harem before the ENP finally put that one down. There was a definite search and investigation to try and figure out what happened, how this person was killed. Nothing ever came of it, but there was a definite search, and the search went to specific areas. It was city coverage, but it was in a specific area of the tenement that they went, so they had to have some knowledge. So you think that there's definitely things could be investigated, but to what level, you're completely uncertain. Okay. Definitely the death of a child does not seem like, at least one of these children does not seem like any importance.
All right. I'm going to go back in again. I'm just going to act like...
Go back in, all right.
Look like I'm looking at the items.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I want to kind of case the joint.
Okay.
I want to see if there's like a safe that I could see, or somewhere where it looks like they have their...
Well, everything seems to be on display.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to fish around and ask questions, do you have shadowing?
I did not take that one.
All right, so go ahead and give me a... let's go with a charm roll.
Okay.
Let me go with an etiquette roll if you have etiquette.
I do not have that. So that's going to be a 9.
Okay.
Well, 10, sorry.
A 10?
Yeah.
All right. So you're moving around, you're asking questions. You get the feeling that everything is out on display. There's not like the good stuff in the back. That's the feeling that you get as you're moving through. A couple of times Amir will come and ask. First thing, of course, he says is so you saw something you liked.
I'm appreciating the quality of your merchandise.
Very good.
They're very fine replicas.
You see him kind of, he's not calling you out on it, but you get the feeling that there is an insult in that.
Oh, I know.
Okay. All right. So you knew what you were doing.
Right.
So he'll walk away, but after a few more minutes, he'll come back over and he says, "Has anything caught your eye?"
Oh, I was just wondering if maybe we might be able to make a arrangement. I'm an antiquarian. I deal with.
He says, "I have heard of you,
and I have.
You are familiar to me.
I have some clients that would be very interested in this.
In what?
Some of your possessions. I'm thinking that they might be. We might be able to come to some financial agreement.
You are speaking then of brokering as a middleman.
Exactly.
He says, if you will let me know which pieces, absolutely. Take your time.
All right.
And he seems to be a little calmer and steps away. You are still being observed, no question about that, but you're not being hounded anymore. Okay. So now, with that in mind, go ahead and give me actually an escapology roll.
Okay, cool. I do have that one. I can't roll to save my life.
Join the club.
9.
So with a 9, as you look around, there are a few basic security measures in here. You can see that there is some form of connections on the windows. You're not certain exactly how they work, but everyone has their own kind of connective piece. You're assuming that there's some form of alarm if either the windows are open or broken. The door has one as well. The actual cases where stuff is inside, because there's cases where stuff's on top, but the ones inside are lit and it's a solid light. So so we're now at the point to tell you as somebody who lives here. There are 2 Tesla towers that have been set up. They run for a set amount of time each day. There are a few intelligent people that have succeeded in creating batteries that can charge from those. So your guess, because a quick thought in your head is they're not on right now. They mostly run at night. Since they're not on right now, your guess is this is one of the places that has a battery. So if all of this stuff is run by batteries, simply disconnecting the wires on a battery would end that. So just something to think about.
All right. So I will say, would you be okay with a 20%, and I'm going low deliberately, would you be okay with a 20% commission?
For you?
Yes.
He thinks
I'm not going too low, but low like it makes, like, you know.
Right. Makes him plenty of money. Yeah.
Right.
He thinks about it for a moment. He says, many of my pieces that would be slightly more than half of my mark. I believe that would be acceptable. Did you have a piece or two that you were interested in?
Yeah, and I am going to choose. Essentially, I'm going to choose 3 of the nicer fakes.
Okay, but the ones you can identify as fake for
right,
sure.
but I don't think like any other person would be able to.
Okay.
And I'd say those.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell him that I would like to essentially have him meet me at my person's the client I'm going to sell him to, so I can, you know, be the person to drop him off at this place. And I'm going to give him an address with the hopes, if you're okay with it, it'll be a place that I know of or I have some tie with the person, but hoping like they're not there right now or like they're gone kind of thing.
I don't even know what and have you roll. That would be a little more uncommon. I mean,
Right.
the city is. Most spaces are not open, and most people have nowhere to travel to.
So,
It was a lot of work to get the space next door to you. Thank God they had family that you could move them to.
All right.
That's going to be a little harder, I'm going to say.
All right. Then is there a place where I can meet him that would be like a bar or something?
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
you have plenty of those. But he asked you. He says, well, "Why not have them come here? Maybe they would make more purchases, and you and I could both make more money."
That would be doable. However, I would only need you to be here. My client is very shy.
He looks at you. Give me a charm roll.
Roll the good ones.
Yeah. So 10 again. I'm like,
Okay, so he looks at you. He says, shy. I understand. He says, yes, of course. You will give me some warning, and I will make my son scarce.
I go, is that your son?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
handsome boy.
Yes. Takes after me, not his mother.
So, do you live far, or do you live here? Or?
He says, I am very close. I am less than a 10 minutes journey from here.
All right. I will look at my watch and say, I will bring them by here, say at the 18th hour.
Today?
Yes.
Most certainly. I shall be here.
And my thinking being the 18th hour is probably when everyone's clearing out, so there won't be many people around.
Yep. Sure.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And then you head back to...
Yep.
Okay.
Barry, just so you know, so you're not surprised, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to murder this guy. It's not even funny.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, kill him.
All right. So...
I figure it's going to be part of my just consumed type of thing.
And what is your consumption?
Well, I'm consumed with life, finding the Philosopher's Stone.
Okay.
But I'm kind of thinking it more of comes from with those 2 children didn't needlessly need to die.
So I do before you get too far into it, because none of this has to be overturned. That is the laws of the land.
No, I know that.
You know what an emir would not have specifically said, go take their hand off. He would have told them they were stolen, these are who they are.
But
it's the MP exactly.
in my
justice.
character's mind, it's you called that knowing that they're not authentic. If they had been an authentic item,
they are still gold. There's definitely value.
Right.
I understand. I'm trying to let you know.
My character's thinking is if they had been real and authentic, sure, right? But your business is in creating, replicas.
Yep.
And part of that is you potentially may lose one or something, along the way.
Okay.
So
Interesting thought.
to me, it just seemed like a waste of there needs to be a balance. Essentially.
Okay. All right. Yep. So back to Bossy's, and everyone is just finishing up their purchases. A few of them are standing around looking and noticing you. And
so I'm going to pull Ray to the side.
Okay.
Ray, I may have something for us to do later. Would you be opposed in teaching someone a lesson?
Are we talking a permanent lesson?
A final lesson.
I'm talking. The lesson will be permanent, but not life changing.
So not spiked knuckles then. Gotcha.
No, there'll be a requirement for that.
All right. Not exactly in this most recent contract, but I could make some suggestions.
And then I'm gonna wait till Frankie is over a ways for a bit.
Oh, you can step to Frankie easily and pull him aside.
Okay, so I'll pull Frankie aside and say, Frankie, I admire your drive for justice. However, there are many ways one could balance the scales, as it were. Would you perhaps be interested in this?
Whose scale are we balancing?
The scale that is the universe.
Specifically.
For the child that was slain.
You know where the guard lives?
Not the guard, but the one who saw to it that the child was harmed.
So, you can tell he's mulling this over. He doesn't hate the idea. He's not disgusted by it. But what he ends up saying in the end is the one who threw the sword is the only one that I feel I have the right to balance.
I understand. If your opinion changes, let me know. The reason I'm going after this individual is what the children stole was not a real item. It was a replica, and really had no value except in itself of a thing made of gold. Personally, I would like to see the scales of karma balanced.
I believe that this is a common practice here. Am I correct?
It is common, but there are those who actually believe in, who know the way of the police and who choose to try to find alternate solutions. It's usually only the wealthy who disregard or ignore these things.
Would it make a difference if it was, a button? Would it be any different? Would the punishment change? Had the child stolen, a wooden button?
No, you've seen people people lose their hand for stealing an apple.
I've seen them losing their hand for stealing a piece of bread.
Frankie's just gonna kind of exhale through his nose, and he's gonna kind of nod. And he's gonna say, "I don't wish to speak of this any longer."
I understand.
So now a couple of people wanted to get clothing. Do you want to take them there? Mm-hmm. Now, do you take them to a Bossy's
yes,
cousin?
Of course.
Very good.
He's going to recognize his brother's work.
Absolutely. Is everybody who bought transferring?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. For the few moments that you're taking it off and removing the sweat from your rubber one, getting the feeling back in your cheeks, you'll all have that kind of slight burning sensation, but very quickly the canvas mask goes on and it does its trick. As far as the clothier, you end up in an area and there are basically wood racks, basically wooden tees that are laid out, and there does not seem to be any rhyme or reason to how they're laid out. You see people moving through here, exchanging money and other things in trade for garments. You know this a little bit better as far as where things go. You need to find the actual stand, the actual tee that's his cousin's. Which, go ahead and give me a wit roll. I'm going to shake those bad ones out of you.
So that's a 12.
Okay, so with a 12, you kind of go one direction and double back and stop for a moment, and then you head a different way, and you do come to his, and he can set everyone up. The cost is negligible compared to the canvas, so don't worry about that. Anyone who is going to get garb that's going to match, just kind of write it down, give me an idea what you're grabbing.
Does he sell like armor or? Let me.
Strictly clothing. We are
Okay.
literally with this guy speaking clothing. Do you want to ask him about other?
Yeah.
And he does not speak English, so he's speaking through either Ray or through Ayden.
Okay. And what I'm going to do before that is I'm going to go to Marood.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say, I can't wear my leathers here. I don't want to get bit. Do you have any recommendation from your experience on a lightweight armor that would fit here?
If they had, much like the canvas masks, if they had done woven armor like this, I believe it is common. I believe it is even loomed. Maybe our friend Ayden could possibly ask around.
Thank you, Marood.
I'm asking Aiden's opinion on dress wear that's like best to breathe, because I may even it's the British stuff is like, you know, the wool and stuff is
Sure.
not it is still
It
uncomfortable.
chafes and itches.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm also asking for best. I'd be asking if there's like a doctor's garb, like if there's anything that doctor would signify as a doctor.
There is. It's worn as a sash and a shoulder wrap, but yes, there definitely is. Who would you ask, Ray?
No,
Or-
I'm asking
or-
Ayden.
So,
Me.
well, no,
Probably the doctors are both
well,
asking Aiden
there's a
questions.
reason, because they would give you different answers. So in the case of Ayden would warn you that if you were to wear it, you would be approached by many different people expecting help. Expecting's too strong a word. Hoping for your time and your ministrations, and there would be a certain clientele, a certain group that would expect it, and you might not get reimbursed. Now he'll tell you if that was your calling, then fine, no problem.
Well, thank you for the warning. No, I don't think I'll do that. So I'll just take like whatever the norm is. I'll go for the fancy version.
Very good. All
Something
right.
to match my mask as best as
Sure, I
possible.
like it.
Basically, I'll show them so around the town, it's like a light cotton sort of top
Mhm.
and flowing kind of pants, and then out in the desert, it's a kind of a wrap that looks heavy, but it's actually nice because it pulls the heat from your body.
The moisture. Yep.
Yep, and then the head wrapping.
The only other thing I want is just a bandolier. I want to go find like something for my belt
Okay. So.
because I want a place to put my bullets. It's not in my.
All right. So you want an actual bullet bandolier?
And,
Is
I'll,
that
and I'll give
uncommon?
him the warning that walking around with the bandolier and
Oh no!
and
This is for when we go out and about, outside of the city.
Right, so wearing a bandolier out in the cities implies certain things you should be careful of.
Well, I remember reading all about it. Don't you want a place to put the bullets when you're out on an adventure in the sands?
On safari.
Yeah, it's on safari.
Yes,
Thank you.
it is helpful for that, but it is a bit of a designation for various tribes. How it's worn and such, and if you were to wear it a certain way, other tribes may have issues with you, thinking you were one of their enemies.
Well, fascinating. I suppose I would probably want to not to do that then.
Usually they're carried to the side or on your horse until needed.
Well, then I guess I will be putting it on my horse.
Don't they have a generic one? You know, black and white. Just.
Yeah. So,
There are
Ayden,
gray ones, but it's
Ayden, thank you. I am learning so much about this culture. Yeah. So then I won't get that.
Won't worry about that.
I don't know. Is there some kind of like saddle pack I can get? Like just a little satchel. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Then. Something I can
Okay,
get
gotcha.
because I
Go
don't
ahead and
have
mark.
one.
Go
Yeah.
mark it down. Satchel works for me. Anyone else specifics?
So, I'm probably pretty hot in the Mourner dress.
Oh yeah,
Right now.
yeah. Yours. So the Mourner dress is tight.
Yeah.
Where what the whalers are wearing seems to be very flowy.
I don't want to emulate them.
I understand.
Because I'm not one of them.
Right. What Ayden is wearing.
So I think I'd like to get a female version in black, of course,
Mhm.
of something
I know
like
the
what
perfect
Ayden
thing for you.
is
I'm gonna
wearing.
go find a morning, like one of the morning where they have the.
Okay. Very good. Does that work for you? Because he can show you.
Yeah, I think that would probably
Perfect.
work.
All
I
right.
don't want to, wear what the whalers are wearing.
Yeah,
but
and that's why I mentioned it. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
just, female's clothing that I could still wear my armored corset and holsters.
So the corset, just to let you know, the corset is going to be, not that you can't do it, it's going to be part of the heat thing. So you may potentially wear that under this. There will be a bit of chafing and you will definitely sweat, but you will still have the cover to that. Somebody put a character point in the pool. For anybody else, do we have anything else specific?
The canvas armor.
Yes, okay. So do you talk to Ayden, do you talk to Ray, or do you try and find another way to find out?
Well, Ray's wearing a vest, and there are animals in the world, so I'm not valuing his opinion very much.
Oh,
Well,
that's fair.
but you also
I
know,
barely value my opinion.
But
so.
you also know that Ray is currently walking around town, and you haven't really just to give you a sense, you haven't really spoken to him, to my knowledge, about battling the Shadim, combat, anything like that. All he's been sort of alluded to, I don't even think you actually said it, was he goes along with Ayden and guards him. Not even specifically a bodyguard. And with Ayden, it's not unrealistic for you to think he probably doesn't even leave the town.
People die anywhere. That's not good enough for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or he is extremely deadly.
No, it's
not a chance. Ray couldn't be that.
Well, even with that, it's not worth the risk.
Gotcha.
It just takes
okay.
one tooth.
Okay, so you approach Ayden with it?
Yeah.
And so I'll say, actually, we do wear armor, usually outside of town. And I will take her to where I got my armor.
Okay, so what you're going to ask is, does anyone else wish anything here, because we'll be leaving the bazaar? Okay, so you guys leave the bazaar, and as a group you walk. Oh, sorry.
And how much for the basic canvas? The basic clothes.
Of just standard clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Now you said canvas. Frankie's getting canvas armor. Are you talking
sorry.
about the clothes? You guys, it's all in the cost you already spent for the
mask. Okay.
For the mask.
Okay.
All right, so you guys will head out. Yes.
And one of the things I was thinking is so like I remember reading about how they do the shields, like the Zulu tribe shields.
Yep.
And they're really hard. Like there's actually cases of them stopping bullets.
I can believe that.
And so I kind of figured my armor was something similar to that, where it's leather, but it's been hardened and done.
So are you talking more of a scale mail? Because it can't be solid hardened. You can't move in it. Are you talking more of a plated scale mail?
I was thinking it was more plates, but bound together with leather. But it's like animal, essentially the hardened hide, and then like they're done. And
you're wearing that now, or
no,
you're saying you
wear that when I go out.
Gotcha. Okay.
And basically, I just took the leather armor since that was.
That's
one.
perfect. Yeah, okay. It'll have the same coverage, but okay.
Yeah.
So at this point, you guys are going to head effectively farther north. You're going to bring them deeper into town. Now, the big difference you guys are going to see here is you are starting to see small areas where there is tree growth. Palm trees, they are a little bit off in color, although you guys wouldn't necessarily know this. They're off in color. They're more towards the yellow than the brown. There is definitely a droop to them, much like a wilting mushroom. Leaves themselves tend less green and more black, but they're not dead. I mean, looking at them, you can tell. And when I say black, they're not pitch black.
How tall are they?
25 feet with the droop.
Okay.
And really sharp.
Yeah, and as you look at them, if any of you take the time to really inspect them, you will notice that each of them that you see has bugs working through them. You'll see ants moving up and down the trunk, scorpions, not that you're going to see thousands of them, but you will see a scorpion that may move in and out of each of the folds, depending on how much you're going to ask questions of these guys. But you're thinking, maybe I don't climb a local tree. There is no grass per se, but there are a few areas where people are growing plants. In some cases, you're guessing from the general fragrance that these are some kind of spices. In addition to that, you're going to see a few flowers, desert flowers, but they're colored, they're not pretty.
There's also dates. Date trees are a big thing.
Sure.
Except
I would agree.
You don't want to climb the date trees.
No, you don't want to climb those.
Very dangerous profession.
What about succulents? Is there a little succulent place that I can buy succulents at?
So I'm going to have to mark.
Oh no,
these
you
on
don't
the
own
map.
a succulent, and a succulent owns you.
So
I just want something in my life that won't die. Okay.
Ayden, it comes to your thought that you guys are going to be very close to what used to be the British Embassy.
Okay.
If you consider bringing them there, you certainly can bring them by there. But you do come. We're actually into what you guys are used to as a shop or store. There's a large front window, and you know that bringing them all in there is going to make the owners uncomfortable. So,
if you guys are interested, over there are the ruins of the British Embassy. I'm only going to take Frankie in there one at a time. Just I'll put the owners.
And he tells you it's up 10 blocks. You stay on this road here. Don't deviate, and you'll be able to see it.
Oh, well,
Might as well go see the ruins.
might as well.
So the rest
Ray, would
head
you
up
mind
there?
accompanying us?
Yeah, you guys need a translator just in case.
Very good. So the two of you guys go in. Not an issue. You're very quickly attended to. It's two middle-aged women, maybe 30, 35, 40. Both of them you can see, and in Frankie you're going to see it immediately. Their hands are look like they work with their hands constantly, calloused, the veins popping out on the back of the hands. Their hands are very leathery. Either they're using sandpaper on them, or they're working with some kind of caustic chemicals. But both of them approach and will speak to both of you. Each one speaks to both of you, but you're not going to get it. But for yours, the first one says, may we help you?
Yes. My friend here, she is visiting from far
He?
away. Or he, sorry. My friend here, he is from far away, and needs some armor.
Ah, very good. And she says to the other one, bring him back for measurements. So the one that came over to you puts her hand out towards you at hand level.
Okay. I'll just kind of look at it. I'm not sure what she wants from me. I'll pull out my coin purse.
She shakes her hand from you and
She wants
then just motions to follow.
She wants you to follow Frankie.
Okay.
Okay, and so you go up 3 steps onto what is effectively a raised area, and you're brought to a stool, and she motions for you to sit. The one that's with you says 1 moment, and she walks past you, turns the sign, and shuts and locks the door.
All right.
And then comes back. The one, as you sit down, the first one, she comes over to you. She motions to raise your, does this, raise your arm.
Yeah, I'll raise my arm.
And starts measuring and measures pretty much everything. Around your bicep, around your forearm,
Okay.
the length from finger to shoulder. I mean, basically everywhere, and eventually once the upper body's been done and the neck's been done, you go lower body. She's not copying a feel or anything like that, but
I'm not worried about it.
There's no attempt to be careful. Like if you,
I appreciate this. Yeah, I like this. The straightforward. It's good. I like.
If you
this.
get nudged, you get nudged.
Yeah.
So when they're done, again, same thing. Not just length, but wrap around both thighs, the knees, and
When we go for the inseam, I'm going to warn Frankie.
well, that's what I already said. Yeah, it's like they're not
not
gentle.
bugging.
I mean, they don't. They let them punch you in the nuts. But I mean,
I imagine that's what they do.
but the woman puts her hand, right on your junk through your pants and measures. But there's nothing. Again, there's nothing odd to it.
Yeah,
It looked
Frankie's
like-
not bothered.
Yeah.
He's used to working women. He doesn't think there's anything weird going on.
Right.
He appreciates how quick and thorough they are.
And she's very quick. And turns back to you. You want a happy ending? No. So they head over and start pulling pieces out of what you see rolls up in the shelving. And the one that spoke to you comes back over and says 2 days.
Okay.
And half up front.
All right.
So does anyone have the book open, or does anyone know what leather costs? Because it's going to have the same stats.
Okay.
All right. Well, while that's getting looked up, for the rest of you, and they're going to ask for that up front. For the rest of you, you guys are going to be heading with Ray, and again, it's pretty hard when he says just go up 10 blocks, don't deviate, and you're going to see it. But it's not on this street. As you go up the 10 blocks and turn, you will see it. The British Embassy is a 3-story affair. It's very ornate, and it ain't ruins. It's in very nice shape. It has been obviously cleaned throughout the time that it's been here. You do not see a flag on the flagpole, but the windows have been maintained. I mean, there's dust as there's going to be on a daily basis, but it's not the dust of years. Did we get that already done?
Yeah.
Okay, and you have the money for it?
Yes.
Perfect. So it's not the dust of years, it's the dust of days or weeks that's built up. There are many people, you're guessing Egyptian, you're guessing locals would be the easier thing, people from Cairo that would walk by and observe it. Nobody walks off of effectively the no man's land of the sidewalk. Now, sidewalks, what you're walking on is either cobblestone streets or cramped down dirt. In some cases, you're looking at not cobblestones, but larger discs. But there's no cement. That's what I'm getting at. It's not a cement area. But nobody is walking off of what would effectively be your idea of the sidewalk towards it. Everybody give me a... Everybody's there, give me a wits roll. Ray, go ahead and add 6 to yours.
17.
12.
7 plus. Sorry.
Somebody dice the bottom.
10.
A 10.
18.
And an 18. All right, so everybody but Dr. Wolf and of the others, Marud is not going to make any mention of this, but Arthur's going to come to you with Maying. And by the way, they got the clothing and they also got the canvas wrap. And most of the ones traveling with you got some form of satchel or carrying case. Excuse me, because they weren't carrying one. And have their clothing and their gas masks in those. For you guys who don't have a satchel, that's the two of you, Raya and Wolf. What are you doing with? Did you change out of your clothing, and what did you do with the clothing you changed out of? And are you removing your gas mask, or what are you doing with?
Well,
that?
I didn't bring my gas mask, so I don't have to worry about
Good,
that.
perfect.
As for
what about clothes?
Clothes,
pretty easy to. I mean, you could have, if you didn't want to do anything else, you could very easily have rolled them up, wrapped them, and they would have tied them in a piece of burlap string.
That's probably what
So
I
you
was
just carry
that's
that.
probably
Same
how I
thing,
would
and
do
then
it.
the gas mask maybe put inside of it. Very good. All right, so everyone except Dr. Wolf, and I'm not sure why it didn't happen for you, but for the rest of you, what you will notice is there is an oddness to the way nobody is walking forward. I mean, you guys would think, you can kind of move across. There's open ground with a bit of, they're flowers, but they look sticky. I mean, we're not talking cacti, but again, flowers, colors, not necessarily pretty, but nobody seems to be walking off the sidewalk towards it in any way. There are ways to get to it.
I think the reason why Wolf's not noticing that is more in the fact that he's rather shocked that it's not ruins as it was said.
You're right, he said
and that
ruins.
it's actually well maintained. Like people have been keeping this.
It has been painted, you're guessing, within the last 20 years because you guys have seen what happens, at least in London. Now, maybe the dryness here would allow it to go a few more years, but you're guessing that the heat would potentially have the same kind of issue in some fashion as the rain, and you don't see issues with the paint on the building.
Yeah, so-
it's not vibrant.
Yeah, it's more the shock that this is still.
Right. So somebody is maintaining it.
Yeah.
You guys will take a walk around it, and the buildings around it look like this whole area may have been some form of governmental seat and that type. And from where you guys turned on the backside, which would effectively be facing northeast from you guys on that back end, you'll see a number of Egyptian buildings that are governmental, and you will see people moving in and out of those. The ENP, obviously the offices are here. There are quite a few of them coming in and out. As you guys have walked, I don't know that any of you would have sat there and counted exactly, but you see a very good presence of the ENP in the bazaar. Less around town, but you feel like you probably don't see any space where there's one that cannot see one other within their range. So reasonably well guarded. They all carry the same scimitar. I mean, there are definitely differences to the condition. Some of them even have a tiny bit of rust on them, Most of them are shined very nicely, but some are thinner than others. You're guessing that, they have been sharpened down so far. Some of them, the curve is not quite as cruel and wicked. In some cases, it's much more so. And then the actual hilt is the main thing you'll notice. You're guessing that that's where the personalization comes, is the hilt. They all have different hilts to them. But walking around the back side of the embassy, you now have made the full circuit of it. And the embassy itself, again, you don't see any movement inside, you don't see anyone there, but you don't see anyone approaching it.
Well, I'm going to ask Ray.
Yeah, that's
I'm
actually.
gonna
I was about to ask you.
I'm going to say,
have
Ray, why is there nobody going here?
Well, so you know that as a urban legend or myth or wives' tale, that they think that it's haunted. There is something that lives in there, is what they believe. Specifically, what they think is that the personality of all of the English that were here, that were working in the facility before everything changed, before the pullback, that they live here. Now, for you, that's ludicrous.
That's
that means
poppycock.
they've been here. Right. Well, they've been here for 200 years. It's time for them. They crossed over. They're done.
I'm going to ask, Ray, is it illegal to go into the building?
No, you can tell him nobody's ever done it. He's never done it, but he's never heard of any rule against it.
And we have time, right? It's taking a while.
You have time.
I'm going to say, Dr. Wright, Raya, do you want to...
You ask yourself that question.
I'm looking at you. Dr. Wright, how much hashish did I have?
All of it. The answer is all of it.
Dr. Wright, other Dr. Wright, Dr. Wright.
Hold on, I'm having a council of my peers. Dr. Wright, Dr. Wright.
The only people that matter is opinion who's matter. Dr. Wright, what do you think? Dr. Wolf, Ray, Raya, shall we? I want to go see what's in here. But poppycock on the well, maybe not poppycock on the spirits being in there, but if so, they're fine. We should go and look. There could be.
If we are worried about the spirits, they're British spirits. So.
Oh, I see my wife all the time. Anyway, let's go in here.
Well, Wolf kind of gives like a weird huh?
You get a raised eyebrow that you
I
can't
still
see.
have a little bit of hashish on the brain.
Ray, I believe you're superstitious.
No, I'm the opposite.
All right.
I'm superstitious.
You're superstitious, and you don't believe in superstition.
No.
Okay. So,
It's not like I can stop him from going in. So
Right,
The
so you
very
go
least
with
I
him.
can do is go with him.
The
and
best thing to
protect
do-
him when he
So-
gets in trouble.
everybody give me a wits roll as he's kind of going around who wants to go.
Oh, and like the flowers on the ground, I'll look to Ray and say, Ray, those aren't like inherently poisonous to notice stuff.
They are definitely poisonous. No one eats them. You have.
That's where you immediately go.
I mean, if I walk over them, am I going to die?
There's a path.
Oh, thank.
There are paths.
Okay, there are paths. You kind of.
But if you ask him to
No,
cross
if there's a
over,
path, I don't give a crap.
I'm not there.
The pollen is poisonous. The plants are poisonous. He has seen a goat eat them and drop stone dead within
Are they
10 minutes.
footpaths or are they?
Don't touch the flowers.
I'm going to call it
That's
again.
the-
But there's sidewalk walkways right up.
They're official paths,
Yes.
not okay.
Yes,
Don't eat
correct.
them.
Not goat
Touch them.
paths.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in that order, but
Okay, I get a 15 for wits.
So 16 for Wolf.
Okay, so you guys will 17. Yeah, so you guys are all going to
13.
notice it. How much?
13.
Still going to notice it. Mai-Ying has stopped and she's got her eyes shut. Who of this group has seen anything like this? I feel like you.
I completely forgot my Ying and Billings were here. That's why I did not ask them.
Right.
I don't really, honestly, to be honest, I don't really give a crap about them. I don't care. And they are superfluous to me.
Right. So, but it's weird what she's doing, and I can't remember who saw it. So, I mean, again, 2 years, season
We've
1.
seen her use her powers.
You have.
Yes.
Who has? All of you?
Wolf has not. Wolf didn't even. I didn't even know
I
she
know
had
you
powers.
Yeah, this is.
saw her.
I reiterate. I can't.
I think you saw her, and I know I.
And you
saw
know
her.
did. All right. So you'll notice that the other two may not so much. Well, and Frankie's not there, so Wright may not notice it. But you see her stop, and she's making the steepled motion with her fingers. They flatten. The steeple flattens palm to palm, so her fingers sit next to each other. She then turns her fingers outwards towards the building, and she opens her eyes, and for the barest second, since now you're watching, I don't know if any of the rest of you, now you're watching, her eyes glaze over white, and then the pupils start to come back in as if the pupils had disappeared into a smoke, and then they come back forward. And then she looks to Arthur and she says, I don't think I'm going to go in. And Arthur says, oh, fine. I will join you.
Oh, Billings, I didn't know you were there. I'm going.
And
I'm just walking.
Cal looks at Marud, and
I
all you guys
Cal
see,
and Marud were there too.
all you see is Marud kind of lifts his shoulders in a shrug, and they follow you. Cal will come up next to you and say, well, lead on.
Wow, right away, old boy.
Poor
And
Ryan.
I'll pat Cal on the
You know
shoulder.
you shouldn't, but you
Cal
have
says,
to.
I mean,
I have to.
what's the worst that could happen?
Exactly.
Is anyone staying out here with her?
Me?
Uh-huh.
No one
Or
has
is she
said
by
there's...
herself?
Well, she's standing alone there. People are passing her on the street, but nope, she's standing alone there. She has not crossed the threshold from the sidewalk to the path to the building.
I crossed the threshold to the path.
I'm gonna
Yes,
ask
everyone else has.
you, Ray, is it safe
Anything happen?
for her to be out here by herself?
It's not really safe for anyone to be out here by themselves, perfectly honest.
What are you guys doing?
So I'm gonna go talk to her and I'm gonna say I don't think it's safe for you to wait out here by yourself.
She says to you, she says, my dear, no one shall bother me. No one
Okay.
will even know that I'm here.
Okay.
All right, so you catch up to them. All right, so you guys walk up. No, nothing collapsed on you or anything like that.
I suddenly feel the extra spirit in my ear.
It's sandworms, right? There's sandworms there.
The little lump.
Oh, the spice must flow, Arrakis.
So you guys head towards there's two sets of steps. The lower set of steps both have small lions, maybe 2.5 to 3 foot tall, maybe about 4 foot in length. A lot smaller than you're used to seeing at in front of libraries and such, but still lions nonetheless. At the second level, as you go up the second set of steps, there are another set of lions, but these have human faces on them.
Well, that's strange. And then I'm gonna keep going.
So,
I'm giving an examination.
So for any of the Londoners, if you would like to give me, if you have history,
I do.
you can make that. Otherwise, just a simple intelligence roll.
I got it.
For those who have, I'm sorry, and what I should have said is for those who have history, it is an intelligence roll that you may add your history to.
Oh, okay.
That's easier.
Now that makes me a lot better on that one.
Oh, I got
That
13
is
instead.
13 for me as
Aha!
well. Take that. Now we're starting to sync up our rolls.
So with your history and intelligence, both of you have 13s
No.
Yep.
18.
and 18. Well,
Yes.
you guys didn't study in class and probably didn't see the plates, but Raya, as you look at them, they're definitely depicting something that has kind of the cat-like look. But you look and then you step back and then you look one more time and you are certain that the one on the left is Queen Victoria and the one on the right is Prince Albert.
I will make mention of that.
Oh, God save the Queen and all that.
Yeah, pretty much an instant response to Queen Victoria. God
And
save the Queen.
And as you say that, Billings will look up and says, "My word, you're right. Absolutely. Oh, smashing."
There it is. We should have a little checkboard for all the British
all the
terms.
good British
Yeah.
terms. So, as you guys come in, the foyer is a rounded in from you. So there is a frontispiece, and then rounded in, there are 3 entrances. One very large door, which obviously looked like the door that you would go through, and then 2 side ones. Each of the side ones, from this distance now you can tell, have drapery closed in front of them. In the case of the large one, there's nothing in front of it. Standing here, go ahead and give me a, what would it be? It would be a willpower roll.
For standing here?
Yep.
Oh,
As you guys are standing on the circle that would bring you into the building.
So you will, if you have concentration, you want that to raise.
Oh, okay, that's what's going on here.
18. Again.
18, very good.
So that's 9 plus 4 plus 13 plus
14 for Wolf.
16.
19.
Very good. All right. So as you get up there, Billings is standing there with you, and he says, "You know, I think my wife shouldn't be alone. Tell me what's inside, please." And he turns and fairly quickly walks back to his wife. You have no idea what that's about.
I guess he can't stomach adventure.
So Cal looks at you and says, "Well, Doctor, what's the plan?"
What's the plan, my boy? And I'll go to the door and open it.
Okay. And the door opens in. There is a hiss of air and then a whoosh of cool, not cold, cool air that comes out. Smell-wise, you are getting wood, dry, but you're getting wood smells and a bit of dust. No mold, mildew, that type of thing.
No dead body.
No dead body smell. There's no husk smell or decay smell.
Yeah, that's what my first intake is. All right, well, let's go in. I don't smell any dead bodies.
All right.
Dr. Wright, I know you're going to go in anyways, but I just want to let you know that this is a terrible idea.
And Raya, I expect you to say that, and thank you for concerning yourself, but yes, I am going in anyway.
It's just an old empty building.
That is correct. It is just an old empty building. Most likely. And if it's not, that's why I have you here, Raya, to help out. Let's go.
So, once you guys are inside the front area is a straight hallway. There are two large raised desks, kind of like you would expect to see at a hotel. There is no paperwork up. There are a couple of exit signs, but other than that, there's no writing on walls or doors that you see in this main area. The front has the two podiums. There is a stairwell that goes up and around the right-hand side and then back at the second story. At the first story, you see a hallway down the middle. There is a door behind each of the two podiums. Anyone with galvanics may give me a roll. You must have it to make the roll.
Take a breath in and say,
British
history.
This is your moment.
This is my moment.
See, Dr. Wolf?
I will burn
If only you had a point in galvanics, you could actually make this roll.
Okay, that's pretty good. Let me see here. So, I'm gonna use. So I can take the best and better of the two rolls, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that was a 15, but I think I want a little bit better. So I'm gonna try one of my obsessed rolls.
Very good.
Okay, 17. I'll take a 17.
Go with a 17. So as you guys are standing there, Dr. Wright, you notice that this building, first building you've seen, is absolutely set for electricity.
Oh.
In fact, as now that you're looking, you can see two switches in here.
Well, I'll go over to it and just be like, Now, I don't see any frayed wires or anything that if I...
Well, you see the two switches. There's the black push-in button up and down, on and off.
Well, as long as I don't think there's a chance of me getting, like, zapped by some frayed wire, I couldn't...
So you would guess that if the embassy closed when everything else closed, it's 80 years old. Mm-hmm. So yes, there could easily be a frayed wire. Could.
Plastic button.
Plastic button.
Okay, cool. Click.
All right.
And that's how we all die.
Boom! All right. So none of you are outside. I don't even have to worry about it. So inside, you can hear a single like zzz that kind of goes around the left-hand side of the room and then disappears. And then there's a second zzz. Now for you, that is very reminiscent of the Jacob's Ladder. That is electricity traveling somewhere.
I'm gonna take out my my Tesla lantern or whatever.
Very good.
I'm gonna try and flick it on.
So as it flicks on, it flick, 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 and then it comes up very low, but it's solid, it's stable.
Ah, look at that! We have some Tesla coils nearby.
Right? What did you just do?
Oh, well, it looks like the engine's engaging, or the power's engaging. There's probably maybe some faults somewhere along the wiring, but I bet we could get this place up and running.
His light goes on full, not beacon, but as full as his lantern goes, his lantern goes up, and then lights in here go up. None of you guys had seen them, so you had noticed them. They're not giant bulbs. There's not a chandelier. They are lights strung into the ceiling. But you guys have light in here.
Oh, why would we turn it off? This is British engineering at its finest.
It's also 80-year-old British engineer.
Exactly.
And when he says British engineering at its finest, the lights go down and then they come back up.
Well, let us find the engine room.
I don't know if this is safe.
Neither do I. Well, actually, no. I mean, it can be fine.
Galvanics is as safe as a person makes it. You
That's
know,
right.
British engineering. 80-year-old technology.
It's a good way to say you might die. Go for it.
So, you guys are in a lit room now.
I mean, I'm gonna look and see if there's a map. Well, no, I doubt there was one that would survive this long.
Well, you never know. Let's see.
I mean, I'll look around. Is there like
so again, in here, there's nothing but the podium and the doors.
There's
the
nothing
stairwell.
like a you are
really
here
gonna have to
map.
rediscuss
Okay,
my
cool.
contract with Ayden.
So I mean, I'm just gonna look at the ground floor. If there's another door, I'll go open
You
it.
did
So
not
doors behind each of the
barter for
podiums.
Yeah,
Dr. Wright.
so I'll go and open one.
Doors behind each of the podiums.
Barter's not the right word.
Bargain.
Bargain.
Bargain for Dr.
So I'll just go open a door.
All right. So the one behind the right-hand podium is locked.
Ray, could you do me a favor and kick this one in, and I'll go to the other one.
So the left-hand one does open up, and once it opens, you got the smell of kind of newspapery, older newspaper, and it's a touch warmer in here than the other room. And
I'm just holding up my lantern.
inside, it's sheafs of paper.
We got the paper room. Okay, and I'll come back. Hey, there's paper in here. Ray, did you get that door open yet?
So, do you kick in the door? So,
And I was not paying attention.
You've been
Door's
here-
locked, correct?
Yeah.
You've been
Okay.
here how many years?
I've been
4?
here 8 years.
8 years. In 8 years, you have never seen anyone in here. You have never seen the lights on. Nobody's ever talked about this building other than they had said, that's the ruins of the old embassy.
Well, and the fact everyone seems to think it's haunted, but
And everyone thinks it's haunted. Right, that's the thing. So,
screw it. I've got dim.
That's my boy. Frankie's not here. I have some muscle. You're my dum-dum today.
very good. Give me
Okay.
Frankie's not around to hear that.
go ahead and give me a vitality roll.
I'm kidding.
I have a 3 int.
That's actually pretty good. That's pretty good.
Dum dum. Alright.
So that's going to be 15?
A 15. So, yeah, you kick in the woods, the door, not the door frame, but where the lock would be, just splinters. This wood is dry. It's definitely been sitting here. This is the
Door's
interior
broken.
So you kick the door in and kind of off its hinges, and the splinters. Yeah, door is open. So for you inside, it's dark inside as far as interior, but the lighting out here does shine into it. It looks like this is probably some kind of supplies area. There are a lot of boxes that have their tops open, and I'm talking about like file boxes, maybe 2.5 to 3 feet by 2.5 to 3 feet, stacked on shelving in here, wood shelving.
And I come in, just,
You're going to come over the other way?
Yeah, I'm just going to go
So
with
as you ban around, it's basically what I described to him, except that now very easily, there's a light switch in here.
Oh, click.
All right, push.
Click.
Yeah, so, and boom, lights take just a moment as they don't race on, they kind of dim up. But in here, not where the other one was newspapers and paper and that kind of stuff, and not thrown everyone, these are stacks. In here, you're not sure exactly what was taken out of the boxes, but the boxes look to have been semi-orderly picked up. Again, it's not ransacked.
Oh, well, that would be interesting to go through. To the top floor!
All right, so you leave the kicked-in door open.
Wolf's like a little about the door being kicked
Yeah.
in here, but you know.
Wolf, if you'd like, go ahead and explore in there. If you want to see any papers, maybe there's something interesting, scientific-wise. If not, tally-ho.
So behind the podiums, there is a hallway, or you can go up the stairs to
Oh,
the
there's a
second one.
hallway?
There's a hallway
take
on the
the
first
hallway
floor.
first.
You can go up the
Gotta do
stairs
the
to the
first floor
second one.
first.
Okay, so going down the hallway, there are doors that look to be evenly spaced and matching on the right and the left.
I'm exploring. I'm just going to go to the first door.
They each have numbers on them.
Okay, that's-
1, 2,
I'll
odds on
just
the right.
I'll look
evens
at you
on the-
guys and say, everyone take a door.
Are you guys going to go take a door each?
No, I'm following him.
Very good. And what are you doing as your first thing? So door 1 inside on the right. What are you doing?
Stop.
Yeah, it opens up. Conference room.
Turn the light on.
Yep.
Okay.
Conference room.
We're just turning on all the lights.
The lights are coming on, but how well lit is this?
Well lit. Not quite as well lit as in here, but like the kitchen.
You know, actually, that's a good point. After I turn it on, I'll turn it off because
When
we
you
don't
leave?
need to. Yeah, we don't need to drain all the power, I guess.
All right.
So then, I mean, I'll just if I open I'll open the next one if it's a conference room.
Yep. You go 1 is a conference room, 2 is a conference room.
I'm gonna go past the conference rooms.
Ignore. So you go down to the last doorway. The last doorway is slightly larger, takes up most of the hallway. You're not exactly sure what this is, but as you open it, actually you are sure what it is because on it it's going to have one of those metal sliders where the person's name would be put in, and then a metal plate that says director.
Oh, the director's office. That's excellent. Open.
And as you open it up, it's dark in here, except for, no, it's not dark in here at all. You've got the windows on the back side. It's light in here through curtains.
Okay.
But you can turn on lights if you want.
Yeah, I'll turn on one.
There are shelving units all the way around built into the walls. All the shelves are empty. There are a couple of, for lack of a better term, Egyptian knickknacks, like a little stone sphinx and that type of thing. The type of thing that you would expect them to have here is kind of a tchotchke show-off thing. The director's desk is in front of you. It is very large. There is nothing on it except for a single stand-up pen, like ballpoint pen that...
I'm ignoring that. I'm just going to the drawers. I'm just curious and just
All right.
them.
As you go through the drawers, the only thing you find is a box of staples.
Well, this is disappointing. If I okay, because I'm a paranoid old man, I know that sometimes there's hidden things, so I want to look for hidden compartments.
Very good. Go ahead and give me I'm going to say coordination on this one.
Oh, good. One of my highest stats. Oof, I'm using one of my rerolls. I'm going to use one of my other rerolls.
How many rerolls do you get?
Standing
3.
in the door
I have a level
with my
3.
arms crossed.
So that is 16.
So
Just
with
like
a 16, you're fumbling through, and now is anyone else in the director's office with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone is either at the door or otherwise. Yeah. So he's messing around in there as you guys are kind of like, there's nothing in here, and everyone hears a very distinct metal thunk.
Aha!
And you look down, and there is a gun. Loaded gun that has dropped out of a space.
I'll pick it up.
All right, everyone sees him pick up a gun.
Look what I found! And then I'm gonna look at. Is it rusted?
It has some wear, but you don't think so. You think it potentially would work as long as the bullets work.
I'm gonna check it for bullets.
It's empty.
Oh, thank God! And it's empty. I know how to check it.
You know how to check.
Excellent. So this is an antique.
Ray?
I actually have a praise, so
Ooh,
I'm not gonna reach for it and grab anything. But if it might be a gun from 80 years ago, or it's just someone else has been here. Oh God, never mind.
What'd you get?
Use a chip.
Yeah, you can use a chip.
Use
if
a
you want.
chip. Tell me it's worth millions.
I'll go ahead and use a chip.
Have you been listening to anything I've been trying to do?
That didn't help whatsoever.
What'd you get?
I got a 9.
Yeah. So it's a gun from maybe 80 years ago, which probably has no value.
Oh, this is a very interesting find. I'll put it in my satchel.
All right.
That thing probably doesn't even work.
So this is me out of character asking this question. So this is like several hundred years in the future from when Victorian England, when the animates
Yes.
first started, and if that's like
200 years in the future.
200 years in the future, and this embassy was here, and it was abandoned like 80 years ago. So we were here.
So nobody specifically told you it's abandoned 80 years ago. You know that there's been no contact between, at least there's been no official contact between London and Cairo, Britain and Egypt in the last 80 years.
Okay.
And I don't know how much, Ayden, how much did you tell the group about your history? I think nothing.
Haven't
Okay.
had.
So 80 years was the last contact. And it may be 80 years and 3 months, it may be 79 years and 4 months. I haven't specifically pinned it down, but approximately 80 years.
Gotcha. Just making sure I understand. Okay.
So, anyone else doing anything else?
If there's nothing of interest in here,
Sadly, no.
I will say, well, I was gonna say cool. Well, that was an interesting find. I'll have to take this to a gunsmith later, get it all fixed up. But let's go to the top
You
floor.
can probably just ask Ayden. He's always in old stuff.
Ayden! I bet he would be interested in an antiquity such as this. Ayden, you start drooling for some reason.
So right here, hold on, at this point, you are starting to walk up towards
Wolf at the very least puts the drawers and stuff back.
Shuts them. Very good.
Yeah.
All right. I know you do.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right. Are you guys closing the doors as you're coming out?
Yes.
No. Oh. Okay.
Are you turning off lights as you guys come
Yes.
out? You said you were turning off lights.
Absolutely.
I turned off
All
this
right.
light. You know.
So he's walking in. You're not running.
No,
You're
I
just
have my
taking- you're
cane. I'm just
striding,
like,
yeah.
you know,
Very good.
cruising.
So you guys head up the stairs. The stairs do creak from age. No one's feeling like you're going to fall through, but they do creak from
thinking
age.
that I
and-
just kind of mosey in.
Never mind.
So up top, you have an entrance of about 10 feet. It looks like there might have been something here at some point that had been here for a very long time. The carpet has divots in it for you're not sure what, but it must have sat at the back of the 10-foot area. You're thinking maybe a podium, maybe statuary. You're not sure. There's a hallway that goes out to the right and a hallway that goes out to the left.
Go right. Whatever's the closest one. So right.
Okay.
Or-
So I'm going to step outside real quick. So Ayden and Frankie, you guys come up. You see Maying and Billings standing there talking. None of the rest of the group is there. What are you guys doing?
Before we switch, I want to clarify that I did pay 100% up front.
Okay.
And then back to this. Where did everybody go?
Arthur says, "Well, they've chosen to step inside. I'm hoping that's okay." And he's looking at you.
I'm looking at it, and so it looks like it's been fixed or repaired.
So you know that the place seems to always be in good repair. Not perfect, not pristine, but in good repair.
Right.
But you also know that, as far as you've heard, no one goes in there. It is haunted. That is, nobody's, you don't hear any stories like, I heard, it's never firsthand. It's, I know of somebody who knew somebody that was taken in there and had their blood drained.
And
I know of somebody who knew somebody that went to the window and was sucked through the window. I mean, just...
Okay. Would it be okay if my character, like, remembers it one way and now it's, like, fixed type of thing? Like...
meaning where you thought it was in ruins?
I kind of I mean, not like
It has
nothing
been-
there, but it was
Yeah,
really...
you haven't been there. You haven't been there recently. It has definitely been repainted since last you were here.
Okay, and so
Are the
it's
lights
like...
on?
Why is...
Yes, because they never turned off the front one. So there are two lights shining down in the front section for the building itself, outside.
Alright, well, I'm going to be...
And you've never seen the lights on.
Right, I'm going to be kind of concerned, and I will start making my way towards the building.
Yeah, I know that everyone's on there.
Very good. So for the rest of you, options are right or left.
Right.
It was right.
Okay. Are we still allowing Wright to lead?
At this point, he's kind of the one in charge of this
Can I
cabin
really
bench.
stop him?
As terrifying as it is.
Excellent choice.
Yes.
Okay. So around to the right, as you start walking down the hallway, you can hear that something's been done to soundproof it, okay? Meaning you
Oh,
can
boy.
literally hear less sound from outside. You come down to the end, there's a door there. This is the first time you've seen it. It has a clouded glass window in it. Wow. Approximately 2/3 the height of the door, so maybe somewhere around 5.5 to 6 feet, and no more than 4 inches in width. But it's fogged over. You cannot see anything in it other than... Looking in it, you would expect to see, since you're expecting it to be the outside of the building, you would expect to see some light in there, and you're not getting anything.
I'm gonna go to the door.
You're at the door.
Okay, I'm at the door. I'm gonna tap on it real quick and hear
Just
listen for movement.
knock on it?
No,
Or
I'm gonna give 2 loud thunks.
2 loud thunks on it?
I want to see if there's something that moves inside.
Very good. Everybody give me a
Oh, boy.
wits roll.
This might be important.
13.
15.
12.
17.
17. You do not hear anything other than the 2 loud thunks. The thunks are... You would expect a little more echo, but the soundproofing seems to be working in here. The thunks are pretty
I wait 10 seconds.
solid.
I wait 10 secones. If I don't hear anything, I'll try to open the door.
Oh, you're thinking like the animals.
Well, yeah, no, I'm thinking, because on the second floor, if it's on the first floor, they probably maybe would move around a little bit more. But
Right.
now, if there's nothing, then I'll open it.
Gotcha. So you open the door. It's dark in here.
Click.
So you're gonna push the light.
Yeah.
All right. Click that light down the hallway. How do you guys envision yourselves?
Oh, boy.
What's the order?
Ooh, I love this question.
I'm getting close to Dr. Wright.
I'm
Okay,
probably
so
with,
Wright, Raya.
I'm with Ray, and I'm behind Wright. I'm letting Wright lead the way, which means Raya's Probably.
So
Yeah.
Wright is
So
winning.
then Wolf,
Right.
Ray, I'm going to go Cal, and Marud.
Good God, Cal and Marud are here? There's other people than us.
So you've gotten the door open, you turn and you click the button for the lights. As you turn back, there are 15 people, and you hear guns lock into place on you. We're gonna end right there.
This is a terrible idea.
Good thing I have a fast draw, and I'm about to start blasting. 15 bodies, 6 bullets. I got this.
You're gonna Deadpool.
yeah, I got some ricochet points.
Very good.
So for
boy.
everyone, 2 experience points for tonight, please.
Gosh.
Oh my god.
And we'll see you next week.
Hopefully we're alive past this one.
Thank you for listening to another NCRP Productions podcast. To stay on top of everything we're doing, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook, all at NCRP Productions. You can show your support and help us continue to produce content by joining our Patreon. We offer additional podcasts like our B-sides and have GM materials, maps, and other fun things you can discover over time. You can find our podcasts on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, and many other fine podcast sites. Just look for us at NCRP Productions. We value your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to leave us feedback or comments. And if you would like to contact us directly, you can email us at ncrpproductions@gmail.com.